This is Texans TV.
Well, hello, and welcome into a fantastic edition of Texans 360. My name's Drew Doherty, I'm your host, and so much is going on and has gone on this week with your favorite team. A little later, we're going to play some golf, plus we're going to hear from some national newsbreakers about their thoughts on Houston and so much more. But the annual meetings, the NFL annual meetings, known more commonly as the owners' meetings, went down this week in Arizona. And we caught up with the head coach. But first, one of the big moves the Texans have made this offseason was keeping one of their own in-house. Left tackle Laremy Tunsil, the Pro Bowler, signed an extension, and we went inside and behind the scenes on his special day.
Laremy Tunsil gets another big bag.
3 years, $75 million for one of the best left tackles. This is a very, very good player to keep in the fold.
It feels good, man, for the second time doing this. You know, second time becoming the highest paid offensive lineman in history. So it feels great, man. It means a lot just to be in this position, especially with this organization who had great players that came through here. It feels great just to be acknowledged as that leader in this organization. I always viewed myself as a leader, especially when I came here in 2019 because Titus Howard was here. He was a rookie. You know, he was looking at me for answers and how to get things done. So I always viewed myself as a leader. So I always put myself in that role mentally. You know, these young guys come in, they're gonna look at me for answers, and I gotta be that guy that mentors them or lead them and show them by example, you know, how things are supposed to be done. The only thing I don't like about it is they call me OG. And I feel like I'm not that old, but they call me OG. But it's a great feeling they call me OG. So they're looking for answers, and I'm there to give them answers. And so I couldn't ask for anything else. I'm glad I'm in this position. I'm glad to be here with H-Town for another 4 years. It was very important to stay here because I consider this home. You know, I built a relationship with the coaches, I built a relationship with the players, I built a relationship with the front office, I built a relationship with you guys. So just staying here and talking to you guys daily, talking to my teammates daily and to the coaches, man, it means a lot. You know, I love H-Town with all I have. They embraced me with open arms when I came here in 2019. It's a city with a lot of history. You know, a lot of history came through the city, and from the artists to the football players to the anything you can name, etc. It means a lot just to be embraced by H-Town. If you work hard, the sky's the limit. You know, the sky's the limit, man. Like, I'm thankful just to be in this position, just to mentor those guys and show those guys that, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, whatever you put your mind to, you can get it done. The biggest thing for me is, like, I always wanted to be the CEO of my business operations. I wanted to do something different, show everybody, like, the sky's the limit. Whatever you put your mind to, you can get it done. And that's what I did behind this team and doing the deal with no agent, and we made history twice. I mean, I'm just showing the other players that it's possible. You can also become a CEO of your business team and get it done. I still got a lot to prove. I still got a lot of things I'm chasing. I gotta win more Pro Bowls. I gotta get all pros. I gotta help lead a team to a Super Bowl. Like, I still have a lot of goals that I wanna achieve and I will achieve. Just stay consistent. I think that's one of the biggest things, and that's one of the things I learned as I got older was, whatever you do, man, just stay consistent. That's why I would tell a younger LT, stay consistent, work hard, get things done, keep your nose clean and you'll be fine.
Tunsil stays in the fold, and you know that makes DeMeco Ryans happy. The new head coach likes having his quarterback, whoever that may be in 2023 and beyond, protected by one of the best in the biz. And speaking of Ryans, he was in Arizona at the NFL annual meeting, and our very own Mark Vandermeer went one-on-one with the head coach.
It's a very cool experience. You see a lot of, you know, head coaches, a lot of GMs, owners that I've seen from afar and not really had the chance to meet personally. So it's been awesome to get the chance to just interact and meet with different head coaches, guys who are been where I've been, kind of going through the same thing. So it's awesome to just exchange contacts and just see how willing guys are to be a resource and to make themselves available to me for any questions I may have or anything I need help with. Guys have been very helpful, so it's cool to see how tight-knit the NFL head coach community is and how willing everyone is to help. You're all kind of going through those same stages, you know, away from the game, and it's easy to connect with guys who are in that same path. So a lot of it is family, but then you also talk football as well, situational football and different things that come up. So heavy mix of both, but it's all great conversations. It's been awesome working with Nick. Nick's very, very smart, detailed worker. He's been outstanding when it comes to free agent process, dealing with the agents, dealing with the players. Like, he's been outstanding to work with. Me and Nick, we meet every morning, so we're talking every morning about players, making sure we're on the same page. We don't bring any players in that me and him are not on the same page with. So it's been awesome to just have that collaborative working environment with Nick, and it's been fun as well. So I'm happy we continue to work with Nick. The thing about offense, defense, and our special teams philosophy, it's about establishing a true home for our guys, where guys can grow and learn from. So it's the teaching progression that sticks out, whether it's offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. It's about that teaching progression and building a home base for our guys so they can we can do anything we want to do if we can always come back to our home base, and we teach guys techniques, fundamentals based off of that, and we can make it fit to whatever player we have, whatever style we want to play. I'm so excited, right? I know it's around the corner, so very excited to get our guys back into the building. Our coaches are ready to get on the field and just interact with guys, get them in the classroom, just to see and interact with the guys that we have, on our roster, and see how can we help those guys, how can we develop them. So we're eager to get started and ready to roll. We have a high energy group, right? Guys have great energy. Guys are dedicated to being their absolute best. And that's each and every day. Guys are showing up to work. Guys are showing up to work on purpose. Guys are dedicated to finding the right guys, the right players to fit our style and what we're looking to do. So guys have been dialed in, studying a lot of free agents, a lot of draft prospects, trying to make sure we get the right people in our building. Bobby has been great. And the thing about offense, defense, and our special teams philosophy, it's about establishing a true home for our guys, where guys can grow and learn from. So it's the teaching progression that sticks out, whether it's offensive side of the ball, defensive side of the ball. It's about that teaching progression and building a home base for our guys so they can we can do anything we want to do if we can always come back to our home base, and we teach guys techniques, fundamentals based off of that, and we can make it fit to whatever player we have, whatever style we want to play. Working with Matt Burke, we're kind of the same philosophy when it comes to playing defensive football, so it's easy, to work with him. He's been in the same scheme that I ran in San Francisco, so he understands it, so he's hitting the ground running from that standpoint. And then we talk coverages, right? We all have a different mix of coverages that we like to do, and we just have to gel it together and see what works best for the Texans. The acquisitions we made, it creates depth, it creates competition for our team. And that's all we have right now for our guys. And that's all we want. We want guys who are dedicated, guys who are hungry to go out and prove that they belong and they want to be with the Texans. We're coming in to establish tapes of our guys and showing them where we can help them to get better, where we see small improvements in their game and how we can help them make those improvements. To be back in Houston, it's been exciting. You feel the buzz. Anytime I go out in public, you just feel the buzz. You feel the energy, right, from our fans. They're hungry, they're excited, and we want to continue to build on that excitement by continuing to add great players to our team, also building this team the right way, making sure we're competing at a high level and we're going out and winning games and continuing to keep our fans engaged and keep them excited about what we're doing on the field.
We're back here on Texans 360. We really do appreciate you watching Drew Doherty here inside the Houston Methodist Training Center. And you know, if news breaks in the NFL, it's probably coming from a guy like Adam Schefter of ESPN or Ian Rappaport from NFL Network. Well, our very own Mark Vandermeer caught up with each of them in Arizona at the NFL annual meetings and found out a little bit more about their unique jobs.
All right, Adam Schefter joining us now. Adam, for what you do, is finding out who teams might want to draft more important, or free agency signings, acquisitions? How do you weigh all that?
Well, free agency acquisitions comes, and it's like that. It's instantaneous. Who a team's going to draft, that's kind of proprietary, and we all find out in the great reality show that is the NFL Draft that plays out in April on ESPN. So, I mean, you may have an idea of who somebody's going to take, but really the truth is, Mark, teams don't even know.
What's draft night like for you? The first one in particular on Thursday night. Do you tweet out the picks before, or is that over with?
I'm not allowed to tip the picks. ESPN isn't either, which I'm firmly against tipping picks. Like, to me, it's like spoiling the night. Like, let everyone enjoy it and watch on TV and have the surprise. Like, there's no need. You need to be. There's no one needs to figure out the picks like 11 seconds before Goodell says the name. I love the draft so much. Of all the different things we do, I think the draft is my favorite. And, you know, I'll go into the draft having a pretty good idea of what's going to happen, having a pretty good sense of, like, what teams are going to do. Like, last year, you know, I always do, like, a little fun mock draft for myself. And last year I had 10 of the first 11 picks, not always in order, but that, you know, here's where they're going to be picked. And I was like, okay.
Wow.
But there's always stuff that stuns you, and I love that so much.
In your job, your phone, give me a story.
It's going off right
yeah,
now.
it's going off right
It's gone
now.
off 6 times.
Yes, we'll be done with this soon. But tell me about times that you might have, oh my gosh, I don't have the charger with me. My battery's running out.
Running out of batteries happens almost never because I always have chargers, and I always make sure I'm fully charged going into anything. No service is certainly something that will stress me out.
You know, sometimes Verizon might not have good service and AT&T does, or vice versa, and so you have 2 different providers. Sometimes the battery's running low on one phone. That's why you have a second.
Right.
That's why, you know, again, we have 2 phones.
In your career, was there a lightning bolt moment where you decided, I have to be a story breaker, I have to be this guy, as opposed to maybe a studio host or something like that?
Not really for me. I mean, I got hired at the network, and I was originally our Dallas correspondent. So I did that for a year, and then my boss at the time came up to me and was like, we'd like you to do this. He's like, I can kind of tell you'd maybe be good at it, and you're pretty competitive. And I was like, yeah. So he was like, if you like to win, like, you'll enjoy this. And so kind of started there. Didn't quite know what I was getting into. Knew it was going to be an uphill climb, and it has been. But that was probably, I think, 11 years ago.
Your job is safe, and I've never thought about doing play-by-play. I'm not equipped or trained to do that, so it would not work out well. If I were doing color comment, it would be a different color commentary because I don't really know the X's and O's part of the game the way that the people who've played it have.
Right.
But I would bring a different perspective to it if I ever did something like that. I've never been asked to. Not like I have some great desire to. If somebody asked me, maybe I would do it, but it would be a whole different craft, and I'm probably not all that equipped to do it.
How much downtime can you possibly get in your line of work?
I get downtime. I work pretty hard for it, honestly. Like, I make sure that there are different pockets of time where, you know, it's not like I'll turn my phone off because that actually causes more stress than anything. I'll still have it in my hand just in case something happens I can react. But there's little pockets of time in the NFL calendar where you can kind of step away. And I got some great colleagues, Garofolo and Pelissero, who will be like, you know what? You go away. We got this for a couple of days, and then I'll do that for them. So it's a lot. And I would say during, like, free agency, the draft, basically the whole season, it's a lot. But there are pockets where you can kind of step away.
I'm working on 56 years of not sleeping, and it'd be interesting to actually fall asleep and doze off. You know, so much is made of that. In all honesty, everybody sleep. Like, I sleep.
Okay.
I sleep. I probably sleep in spurts. You know, like 2 hours, and I'm up for a little bit, then I'm go back for bed for an hour, and then just you know, it's irregular, but we all do irregular things, I guess.
How do you decide where to go on game day? And sometimes you're at home, right? Because you have to have your phone and just have everything at hand.
I'm always at home.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically the only game I go to, you know, I'll go to a couple Thursday night games. but the only game I go to is Super Bowl. So Sundays are, wake up, you sort of know the news and stories that's going to be, but you never quite can tell. So it's just, kind of all hands on deck, but from my house on Sunday.
Your opinion on what the Texans have done so far this offseason with DeMeco Ryans and some of the acquisitions they've made?
They locked in Tunsil for years to come, and I mean, probably the best in the game, and he's getting paid handsomely, but he deserves it. And, to me, like, if you're going to take a quarterback at 1 or 2, which I believe, or at 2, which I believe they are, then you need a great left tackle, and they have one, so I like that. I appreciate that Nick Caserio will thrive in the middle class. The 1 or 2 years, $5 or $6 million, $4 or $5 million, get really good players that maybe didn't get all the buzz, and like Denzel Perrimans of the world. Like, he is a very, very good player. Didn't cost a ton. When he's healthy, he's going to be, you guys will watch him and look very, very disruptive. Like, I liked the emphasis on making sure the middle is as, formidable as possible.
Well, DeMeco is going to be a great coach. I really believe that. That was the right choice there. And I think a lot will be determined on the quarterback that they invest in. Yeah. I would have liked for them to be at number 1. That would have been very helpful, not number 2. And then they could have their choice of anybody, but that's not how it worked out for a variety of reasons. And so they'll do the best they can, too, and you'd like to think that they'll hit on the quarterback that they picked there.
Adam, thanks a lot. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Steve Nelson, quarterback for the Houston Texans. Right here down at the Rodeo, just spending some time with the animals. A lot of babies happening right now, so we're just showing them a lot of love and, showing our affection for them. So, go Texans.
Hola, ¿qué tal, mis amigos? Y gracias por acompañarnos. Somos Texans 360. Bienvenidos al programa. I just said robots and Houston Texans players love getting freaky in the streets of Beaumont. I might not have really said that, but we have a Texans super fan who went south of the border recently to show his love for the team.
If I asked you to go to Mexico City and bring back tacos, would you do it?
I would if y'all are paying. You're paying?
Of course.
Hey, baby. Ramos, Texas, baby. Let's go. Oh yeah, that's it right there. Let's see. Yo, thanks for the awesome trip to Mexico City, Texas admin. Here's your tacos.
We're back on Texans 360, and in 1 week's time, we'll be smack dab in the middle of the Masters. It's the greatest golf tournament in the world with the greatest golfers in the world. Closer to home, some golfers who are not so great took part in the Texans Business Partner Invitational.
Let's officially welcome you to the Business Partners Invitational here 2023. Hello, Texans. How about the job that Nick Caserio, DeMeco, Ryans are doing putting our team together so far? Yeah. All these analytics, who's improved their team the most so far? The Texans are second in the NFL in that category. Our goal is to be first, but that's a darn good start, and we haven't even hit the draft yet. But we're here to play golf, have a good time, say hello to old partners, friends, family of the Houston Texans. And to kick off the event, here's the president, Greg Grissom.
Welcome. We're so glad to see everybody. This is always kind of our favorite event to kind of kick off the new season in a lot of different ways. And so it's just really exciting to have everybody out here today. It's a gorgeous place. Thanks to all our Blue Jack friends for hosting us here today. We can give them a round of applause. Man, have we had some fun the last couple of months, right? Everybody with us? All right. So we got DeMeco. We got a great coaching staff. We've signed 13 new Texans in the last week, and then we have 12 draft picks, including 5 in the first 75 of the NFL draft in late April. So if you guys aren't excited, I know, hey, I'll acknowledge the last couple of years hadn't been what we all like, but look out, we're coming.
There you go.
That's going to do it for this week's show. And gosh, we really do appreciate you watching. We wouldn't be here were it not for you tuning in and checking us out. And the guys that make this happen, none other than Tyler Suddarth, Gardy Swingby, and a whole host of others. So for them, I'm Drew, and we'll see you next time on Texans 360. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to know when we post new content.